we are near about 20 120 days.
You have 120 this year.
No problem.
Over 120 this year. So far from day 1 from January 7.
Okay.
Ever payment ra.
Okay.
A year May 6. And our neck account 121 days. Until near
7.
Yeah, near 7 years. And near 7.
And 120.
Oh, okay.
Well, 121.
My mention what here for Namenkasa. I think that a numeric president will be addressing the nation.
Yes.
Now on one kasa atunanum to a catcher Ghana for because Abrana campaign he made a promise to the people of this country. So the first 120 days, a social contract on the Ghana for a sign. Sa Abra beto aba no ade ba kwana edi ahim e wo krom ha. The level of trust na aweni in people or occupy your friend saying leadership position in this country. Because in the last 8 years, you who quite be as a nipaku bi afanyansa kwan beje political power. Yako nipa nine so ako kasa kire omo na nipa nya ye mugidi no mo de tumu ya mayen. But yenya tumi ni wie no, they decided to use the power to further their personal parochial interest instead of say yebeye de bema Ghana ni asetire mu atono. Enti yebenya a lot of generational thieves. Generational thief means that one person will steal and steal massively to the extent say or setting himself up ne man ne nanan mo mudi na chi nyina na obi abeye. Typical example de adubo ahenye. So power na Ghana for nya kokodro de share o mampanyini nsa se onjina sa tumi no so na ontoto nema na nema emeyeye no ebeye akwanya ye bietu ma. People were just robbing the estate left, right, center. And at the end of the day, you could not see a single actionable plan by the president and as an initiative by the president. Say you didn't remedy the situation. And I say, Obi Foma, yebe ma mrane nshisaye wo honi nadi amani pane hu say indeed o mine na hotra keke say obetim de won sabo o man sikam ye hu sisila da pa no ma over millions of dollars egu o mpaase several other individuals are dirty corruption scandals besene koye. So ye koduru ba bia boache na Ghana ni gidie e wo amamuo mu na aban mu na konform it got to a point na Ghana for were chanting say sabi eku kura ku dita kura ye better than the democracy. Because now the other practicing was some kind of a phony democracy. On paper, people think this is a democracy, but you could see clearly say it was just a small screen. Beneath it, it was a Ponzi scheme. Some individuals were just using it just to further. So before elections, na amount for bomobu a spread yama amount for cross spread. Say all the politicians you heard that conversation in this country. But President Mahama reiterated his commitment to the people of this country. Say this time round, this is somebody who has been president before. Unfortunately enough, is the first person to be back again. You need to revive the trust man for war in the political establishment, because anywhere in the world, so who say ade friend the country is ade about by any soldiers, any police, the trust and the confidence citizens repose in that establishment, and the money is strong. So the very moment you see people withdrawing that trust and confidence, the estate becomes shaky and vulnerable. So person would say, I go to the Middle East. What happened in Tunisia in 2012, 2010? When the infamous Jasmine revolution kick-started, man for who say adewe koso Tunisia no. Neighboring countries who say yansu ye need trust wa abai mu no. Omo nyina join. It spread like a bushfire. I know the day there are a lot of presidents in the Middle East. Okay, North Africa, yes. Egypt, share, Tunisia, share, Morocco, and several other countries. So a trust and confidence is key. So President Mahama bana or back, idea bena or just to sustain and revive that trust among for ye. And I'll catch the Ghana for say, made the 120-day social contract. Fortunately, we went to the polls. Ghanaians voted massively. And in the history of this country, young Kotua opposition party in so far such a humiliating defeat in the history of this country as the MPP as a political party so far. Clearly, a choice said it was affirmation. Ghana for say. nsam na papa no kan omo ogidie wom. So boache say wo be president, you have no right to veer off from this social contract I want Ghana for saying. And here we are once again what has been done. For me, I think say Debbie Amakacha man for said this is a new version of John Mahama. He is very precise, very concise. The clarity of thought. He is very bold and he knows what he's doing. And if you look at some of the decisions he's taken so far, clearly you know that this is a man who is on top of what he's doing. You understand? Clearly a choice is sitting at the sidelines for 8 good years, you know. He's learned his lessons. He has even become more sharper and more efficient. And that is why the way a man you see that kind of way. For instance, over the years, adeɛ baako a Ghana for authority a sa amamuo kese a set it up na yetua amanfo ka because financing a huge government na nkasa na have a toll on government. Akufo-Addo boy ka kire say menuanom adwuma no so enti se me appoint a large sum of government and obetimi ama ye adwuma no. That particular assertion by President Akufo-Addo no defy a theory of modern governance which is premised on efficiency. Efficiency is about small numbers, multitasking, and people doing things. Yeah. And yamfa crowd and your government. But President Akufo-Addo told us he needed a crowd. Ghana got furious because it became the worst government in the history of this country. So the number became useless. So you go into elections, people were asking, said the size of government is something needed to be done about it. President Mahama made that commitment, and truly, when he won power, that is one of the first things that he did. So you see, I listened to some lecturers and some so-called economists or more monetary value. What they to say appointment and what is from way to way crowd in terms of way Sikando saying. You see, and I'm say governance, you need to be a deep thinker before you understand certain things.
To be a deep thinker.
Yes. If you are an emotional person, you always make the valuable point. But you need to be a deep thinker. A deep thinker, not just say Mahama numbers no kati isn't just about the monetary gain the country will get, but it's a symbolic gesture I will pay to the people of this country. Say, I've heard your cry. Because under Akufo-Addo, when we had this economic downturn, the whole thing is downsize government, cut down the size of government. The gentleman didn't do it. He was rather appointing people, deputy ministers, he was adding up. Yeah. But doing this, symbolic gestures, symbolic relevance to the people of this country. This is a president who is ready and willing to listen to the people of this country, your cry and your concerns. And for me, he did that with finesse, with touch. Ghana for appreciated as we speak now. The ministries now your friends say over 30, I downsized it to 23, and the ministers now start now assisting no kind of say
yeah. 56.
Exactly. 4 outstanding. But if you look at how far he has been able to deliver within this 120 days, clearly you could see you don't need a crowd to run an efficient government. You need people who are responsible, people who are whatever it takes. And for me, that is a good way to go so far as the size of government is concerned. And again, Oko social contract ubetimi abobo some of the things na okan na one thing na AD has to do with economy na ye kan wasem no under President Akufo-Addo Mekachiro say we decided to borrow foolishly. We got to a point now there was nothing that we could do to salvage ourselves, to the stand said now we have to run to IMF na ye kokwaji loan. You go to our external and internal creditors. Now you making sure say restructure your debt so be able to be a survival. President is your bar or better set up this economic dialogue forum just to engage stakeholders across your friends or your friends space. Another day that initiative need discussion of course today you can see say some impact on the economy of this country. And then look at the city today. The city is enjoying some level of stability. You understand? Because for the past bare way, you could see, say, the dollar rather is depreciating and the city is appreciating. That is a positive sign. And also, Chira say, investors' confidence, emu ayedru. God, the air cost say investors are pulling money into this country. God, they knew say there is a new government. kwanya neema fa so aye kono say de sika ba ya nhwere ye sika ne nasefo no. And for me, that is one of the best things I betimi aye timi sustain sa ade we ya. E betimi aboa ye. And again, nsema na Ghana fo eka na ya manfo adesoa has to do with taxes, COVID-19, you fan saying betting tax, yes, and several other taxes. Na abidavo Ghana for ama nema and shada sitana enkoyima Ghana for. The promises were made, say Oba he will do away with these excessive taxes and make sure say Ghana ni ehombaton. Ampara, some of these taxes have been removed. And as we speak, the ordinary and the average Ghanaian will not have to go through the hurdle of paying some of these things. Oh yeah, illegal transactions and then as for those double charging and as for no. And then those things, a year from Ghana ni can breathe. So these are promises you make to the people of this country, and you deliver on the same thing. When it comes to a human and as for look at the platform that has been established so far. I know most of them you can assess their viability now, but the mere fact that they've been implemented, set in motion, we can hope say it will get better. One has to do with this Ajumaura thing that was your friend is like introduced here. You see, I can't say young people everywhere. They are the backbone, the workforce you need in a part of the world. The skills, knowledge, and whatever that it takes to equip them with a requisite skill set or so some of these enterprises are there just to boost young people when it comes to their entrepreneurial skills. Give them the finances and any support to start businesses on their own, because there is nowhere in the world that any government can employ virtually everybody and give them job. So you need to empower them. Even America, most advanced economies, private sector is more larger than government sector. You need to empower people, give them that particular way. And for me, that is one thing. And again, with this ICT initiative, you see, the world is pacing. The world is in a competition. Exactly. The world, go into a digital economy and a honor. We are seeing a team deco. How do you, as a government, reposition your young people into this digital economy? Over the years, we've been lagging. The last time Mahama said football has created its own economy. Unfortunately for us, we've not been able to tap into this economy. But the digital economy, is one thing. It doesn't matter where you are. If you go to America do you know that most of the mobile telecommunication companies, they outsource their jobs, to some companies outside the US, be India and other countries. And for instance, for a bank, now what making enquiries to know or bank transaction as a former. That particular contract has been outsourced to a foreign company somewhere in India. So the person who picking phone is sitting somewhere on a computer or India. And I wouldn't casa because these people have been able to tap into this digital world now. They're becoming very innovative. So how do we reposition young people? Say by the emerging market, the innovative world of technology now, how do we also take advantage? So if a president is making the commitment to make some of these services available, for me, I think that is a good call, because it is not always there be a memo sika kwa say honorable mami way no for how long and I bet my honorable mami sika, but nipa no chira how to fish. If you have some of these skills, so I'm calling on young people. So some of these things, whether you believe in it or not, just take advantage. At the end of the day, in the future, ube some faso, because ajuma bien wa aya papa chen we say obi be tell how to make your own work, and now ubetimi ayamana ya ajuma. And for me, I think that so far so good. And adiaba ko metimi asen aka for me, a lot of people are impressed. Has to do with this medical trust fund. Ghana medical trust. Exactly. You see, yete Chrome has saying some of us on TV, on radio, sorry tia this initiative ayentam on my sika emfankosi cathedral emfankotu amana. I have told you said that enterprise was a senseless enterprise considering where the world is moving to today, because we need to put premium on young people. How do we give them a future? But we sat in this country, my software president Kabum, for over $58 million of taxpayers' money. And another government is in play. The government is not building a cathedral. Rather, he is setting up a medical trust fund. I be providing free medical services for individuals a more chronic disease. Because some of these things, there is nothing that you can do about it. Say obi our kidney disease, obi or liver, obi or heart problem. These are conditions you live with it forever. Opa mayam fa nkosi Bank of Ghana baby etwa sika no obehye no. So it's a government making effort to make sure that some of these avenues are made available. Yet Tikroma Kolebu. Now they were charging people, getting money to go there, a problem. But those who are fortunate enough say Yesika, they call Kolebuno, Ubakone say atum, other yes machine say, but near Yesika di Tuamana. Yesika di disabian some who Kroma say, among for a bokrono, people were dying our Kolebu because the renal unit was shut down. Enti ene abanya biaba no say media I care about the average and the ordinary because people who are going through these conditions, yeni NDC in your MPP new. There are Ghanaians, especially this era where your friends say Galamsey I take center stage. You don't even know say water now or no. Poison or not, whether it is poison or not. So every single person is susceptible to some of these, your friend is saying, diseases and some of these chronic conditions. And the system, they say, some of this initiative has been established so far. Sabaya, bet me, I give you comfort to Ghana. And he say, so when you say, there is avenue for you. People will be making contributions. These are enterprises, taking care, deep in the welfare of the people, not the other one. A selfish parochial interest, yatamo maisika, and then we invest these monies in senseless enterprises. Nipana or moya sanya mano, as why then no Kenyans as na untie. And in the end, ya. So for me, I think people may have their preferences and whatever, but so far there is no sensible person out there. What Mahama has been able to do in the last 120 days. No, because Sebi, your friend saying he's not on the right track. I think where he is right now, he's on right track. And if he's able to continue like this, for me, he's going to leave a legacy that will leave an indelible imprint on the conscience of this country. Because, Makasa being president, very easy to be president. But being president with the responsibility, that is, and he thought that being president was just about one I'm not soldier for do your president. No, that is not president. President is being president with the responsibility. Looking at the mandate that has been given to you, you work to satisfy those your friend say near man sabaya Ghana ni benya komato no yem say nearma kosui eboame. For instance, one of the initiatives I person has to do with this cocoa board, your friend say pension scheme for your friend say farmers. I know a man for Modia cocoa. Obi and the 20 years cocoa na wu. Can't go run them coffee one city crama on your mount. You what I say. But some of these things, almost uncle for no one on by a sadia, government the answer or the policy bet you to a uncle for no home along the line. And if there is a pension scheme that has been introduced, a bit of money to be taken from the farmer, government to add up to it, and we invest this money, sabaya obi a cocoa farmer. Now so also call retirement. Obetimia bank is a retirement package. Sabaya onko come, na teacher ni unkwana benefit. Now farmer non so because of the contribution all making to the country, some of these things, mobile beneficial. So, watch it. I think I will run it through 120-day social contract now, President Mahama and Ghana for sign, on that basis now here. For me, I think that he has really done well. And Ghana need be any whole deal like so to Abama na obey disappointed. But baby a man for a share nimu said near my bet to so akwamu moya thing has to do with the fight against corruption. Because that arena for me is the most important thing. Yetana TV so radio so can about issues of corruption for how many years? We are not just speaking to abstract we were speaking to fact individuals. We are involved in thievery, corruption, and then as a forum, and are the old rabbi. So for me, I am calling on the Attorney General. Say on speedy up things. I understand you see the wheels of justice are grinding slowly, but this is politics. You understand? I'm not saying say Obi is not guilty. Guilty. but the government needs to be very frontal. If there is any initiative that President Mahama government has to be very frontal with it has to be issues of corruption, because we cannot just sit here and we wake up and it's like business as usual. Just look at one person like this gentleman, your friend is saying, Adubuahin. The way this gentleman was able to steal from state coffers, and these people are not even intelligent people. These are weak-minded individuals omunya access to power. Then you ask yourself, how did these people get access to power? Because nipa be nim nyansa or CEO and as a director of a company, Albert bank transfer directly from state account to personal account and be moving money from his personal account to go and buy property. Now more dama clearly chose nipa we nim nyansa. So you ask yourself, how did he get there? Clearly, I chose that family and friends enterprise run a running no, and one na ye guso and ye running on mine no. So time has come for us to say enough of this. Ghana voted massively because of corruption. So we need to make it a priority. The government must do everything to ensure that every single person be ordering in Sabo Mainsi can be no. Ghana will not forget that. And Ghanaians will never forgive the president if he forgo that sacred responsibility, because Ghana want to know nipa mo for musika. For instance, sa train where I'm offering a sky train. Yeah. Even the conception of that idea na nkasa kwanyansa bi anim. Na train dey na man asase cry or do say na yakofa dey nam wiem na we obi onim nyansa. Will you even conceive this idea? Train na nam form no. Asase so dey cry ya constructors are yenwie da. Asase so train cry ye nibi. Na
enso to agbogbolosidi en cry ma bi.
Na train bia enam ade no so uhu cry obubefu. Enam ade de akire no nya de keto anade enum ene ya painting na de si ade so. Na train no dey nam form cry ye nibi. Na kwabrane oya professor atenase akwotena board meeting afa pen ni paper say ye be sky train. You be now be sound say in the school now you sometimes and you begin to wonder whether we train minds or we just give people papers. Because you cannot come and convince me that memfa pencil paper so and approve $2 million because you be sky train and about them training the name from no crowd what saying. You understand? So some of these things are also we need to punish crime. We need to punish people for them to know, say, or mine on your easy, say, there are two key things you should never do: showing weakness and showing mercy. Because the very moment you go by these two key things, you lose your leverage as a country. Obia be taking advantage of you, and they will do things they are not supposed to do. So for me, the state must rise to the occasion and make sure that we are not witch hunting anybody, but any single person be an personal decisions, actions, inactions, omissions, anything I go against the rules of engagement, we really need to. And again, state institutions as well. You see, Minister Chief Justice issue near Babaso, Babuache, that one sacred responsibility I go beyond President Mahama is strengthening state institutions, because that is the foundations of our democracy. Because you got to a point Ghana for lost trust and confidence in your friend is saying your government. How do you revive that? Because do you know say Abrante yo Burkina Faso or but TV so na Ghana for a budget so or a cool leader. Yeah. And you see how young people have become so much fascinated about guy no nema or yeah. Sa nema na danger is ye dey share box Ghana. I'm telling you, if we do not work to satisfy the aspirations and the welfare of these people, trust me, this democracy, this era will be the last leg of Ghana democracy. And we cannot afford to fail the people of this country. And I'm sure President Mahama nim obi our pointing to nim. And when you are to be in power, and my culture say, you see, Rollins be dear 21 years and not power now we come to serve. Oba, do your bit. That level of arrogance and then as a form no. Make sure say the people and your priority work and satisfy near mess away. What time you go and another person will come. That is what politics and power is all about. It is not about you being there. So why you kokoti? No. Power ye the serve nipa. Ye mfa metre nipa so. Some mistake na Akufo-Addo ye wan hu ene na wie ye nie, because wunya to me now the bobra papa, even in your absence people will remember and they will give you that particular way you deserve.
Okay. Medase yanko yanim ne yanhwade ye. Okay, so Alhaji said wa gongo at the car akwakoche Benjamin Asare. Had to folk and Blasters goalkeeper. And the pictures now started Boba. eti Alhaji Sedu Agongo we Elantra car no blue one pa I saw the about Alhaji J Elantra the as to be Elantra ni bi wa ha cause here nam form no so doso eti Benjamin Asari of Heart of Folk and Ghana Black Stars yeah too much is a board and saying yeah your points big age goals not that them. Yes or no but now is what yes all the trot ne ko adwuma
that's right
or has training or the trot mo tua coins ne kakra after training no aba has also I just say be has score camp dia no nya bass matra but o kofie dia ne trot ya ti Benjamin Asare Alhaji Sedu Agongo the business tycoon akwa chede Lantra eti Alhaji utia yadawase